Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm here today with decorated amateur boxer, winner of the 2019 Haringey Box Cup, 2021 Box Championship, and the 2023 London Championship. Gabriel Passelle, pleasure to have you on, my friend. Good to see you.
That was so good as well.
I'm actually keeping that.
In slow motion, zoom in.
We just slow motion handshake you.
It's what it is, man.
Look, I want to learn a bit about your time in boxing and what you've been up to over the last few years. So can you walk me through a bit about how long you've been boxing for and what your record's like to date?
So I've been boxing, I've been competing for 8 years now. Had my first fight when I was 16, 24 now. I've had 35 contests, I've won 25. I lost about 10. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey for me. Boxing, it's taken up what feels like so much of my life in a way, but also it's just been the funnest experience of my life as well. I can't lie, man. The friends I've made, but also some of the hardest experiences. But I've got, God willing, another 10 years of boxing.
So who's your favorite fighter right now? And when you were coming up in the ranks, was there a fighter you used to see on TV or in the gym that you really used to look up to?
So my favorite fighter, I gotta say, obviously, favorite fight of all time, obviously Ali. You know, it's cliche, but you know, I can't not say Ali.
Yeah, we love the pretty boy light-skinned boxer.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali is he's my favorite all time. Sugar Ray Leonard, again, one of my absolute favorite boxers ever. And currently, right now, I would say my favorite boxer that's active today would be Terence Crawford. Okay. Terence Crawford is just, he's certified.
Are we taking Errol Spence out of the mix?
Errol Spence, you know what? Errol Spence, I've been watching Errol Spence since I was young, coming up through the ranks. Remember when he destroyed another great fighter, Chris Algieri. Yeah. But yeah, Errol Spence is wicked, man. But I don't know, but what T-Bud did.
How are we feeling on the lighter weight as well about Javante?
Again, Javante Davis.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Yeah, crazy. I look up to him as well. I look up to all of those guys.
When you look back to where it all began, what is it that initially pulled you towards boxing, and what is it that ended up keeping you there?
I actually first started boxing before I was 16. When I was young, my dad brought me to the boxing gym and forced me to compete because I got in a bit of trouble. Yeah, it was just funny. It was nothing serious, man. I was never gonna. I was not one of those kids that was ever gonna be in any serious trouble. I don't think. But I got in a little bit of trouble, and my dad, being my dad, he was not having it. You know, and that was. I remember. I think I spoke to you about this. I remember him saying, disgraceful, all this stuff, you know. He proper went in on me. And he said, I remember mum saying, "Oh no, leave him alone." And my dad, he said to me, you are gonna go to the boxing gym and you are gonna have 5 fights. Like, I don't care if I have to drag you to the ring. You're gonna fight 5 times to teach you, you know, the discipline and what, you know. And you know what? At first, I hated it, man. At first, you know, I remember some of the early days after school. He would, you know, he'd wait for me. I had to be home at a certain time to go to the gym because I knew he was going to force me to go to the gym, and I couldn't be late. I had to run home, man. I had to run home.
No time to fight on the street.
I had to run home, and then we'd go on the drive to the boxing gym. I was scared, man, because I knew that some of those boys used to whoop my ass. You know, some of those guys used to whoop me. So yeah, go to the gym, and he used to force me and inspire and all that stuff. But after a while, I found strength in boxing, man. That was it. That was the biggest thing, man. I found strength in boxing. That stayed with me. And I used to feel so bad at school, man. I used to feel so terrible at school. I really struggled with the way I felt about myself and certain things that happened when I was at school. Just like a lot of people, that, you know, and boxing gave me a reason to feel something else than what I was feeling every day. And that is why I kept boxing and that's why I'm still boxing now to this day. all these years later, is because it has given me something else to feel, given me the opportunity to feel something positive and feel something good that I simply was not feeling at that point in my life. And, you know, even throughout, I find it hard, and it's got me away from those situations that are making me feel that, and it's given me an opportunity to be something more, to feel like something more. Yeah. So even through the losses, sometimes, man, it's loss after loss, it feels like with boxing. There's times where I literally look and I say, like, I don't even know how to box. I've had all these fights, you know, I've won a few championships as well, but I actually don't know how to box. I don't know what I'm doing in here. But you know what? Still, I'll never give up. I'll never quit, because boxing has given me something that I don't think I ever would have had the privilege to feel otherwise.
Has anything ever come close to the way boxing makes you feel?
Nah,
no,
never. Nothing has. Nothing in my life has given me the opportunity to feel. To feel what boxing has given me the opportunity to feel like a winner, to feel like a champion, feel like I could be something more in my life. Yeah. You know, you know, nothing. You know what I mean?
So when you reflect on your first fight, walk me through how it felt and what you learned about the difference between training in the gym and fight day. You're in the ring. Your first fight though, because that's a unique feeling.
My first fight, I was 16. So this is still the first 5 fights, you know, when my dad was like, yeah, I have to fight 5 times. You know, I didn't want to fight when I first started boxing. I didn't want to fight. I didn't even want to go to the gym, man. I was trying to mess around with my friends after school, and you know. But it got to the point, obviously, when I realized the reality. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna do this scary thing. That I wanted to do well. I wanted to do good in something, and I started to, even in just the gym, from trying to do something and being consistent. I started to do well in something for the first time. I felt like in my life, I started to get respect from people at the boxing gym, a positive feedback, something I didn't feel like I was getting at school. You know, from my friends, from anybody. And this is the first time I started to feel something positive about something I was doing. So walking to the ring for the first time, I was so nervous, man, because I wanted to do well. I wanted to do really well, and I was nervous and I was afraid. And I'd never really had any, I wasn't a big, strong guy like that, you know what I mean? I was a small, skinny kid, man. At 16, I was like 50 kilos, you know, my first fight. So I was terrified, and I fought hard, and I won my first fight. It was basically the windmills. I was swinging, I was like, come out swinging, bro. I won it, but I don't remember anything of that fight. I don't remember a single round, anything that happened. I was so nervous. Wow. But yeah, I got the win. Wow. I remember it was the best feeling ever. It was the best feeling, one of the best, happiest moments of my life. That was amazing. Yeah.
So if you fast forward today, if you could have a fantasy matchup with any pro, who would it be?
Fantasy matchup?
Yeah, man.
That's so funny. I don't know. I heard this question before, but I just think.
And that's win or lose, right? Who do you think you have the most chemistry with in the ring?
It's just such an interesting question, because all my favorite fighters, you know, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I think about. Just be a dreamer. I don't want to go in there and get my ass put by Ray Leonard. Or
which one would you learn the most out of though? Like, and it's not fun just sitting there getting hammered and you get knocked out in 30 seconds, right? Who could you go in there with and actually survive the 3 rounds and actually take something away from with it?
I just think
Bivol.
To be honest, Bivol, Arthur Better. I think, honestly, I'm a massive Sugar Ray Leonard fan. Growing up, I was obsessed with him. Watching Sugar Ray Leonard, what he was capable of doing. I've watched every amateur boxing fight that I could find on YouTube and available of his. I've watched every single professional boxing fight of his that I could find. I'm just a massive fan. So if I could go in with him, and to that experience for me, like a prime Ray Leonard, you know, to go in there with him again, the whooping I would take would be of legend.
Tantalizing.
Tantalizing. But it would be something. It would just be like, you know, I remember I would just go and be like, Ray Leonard hit me here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you never watched that part of your head again.
Proud.
So when you spend a ton of time watching footage, and I remember doing this when I was young with Mike Tyson, because I just loved it. I think I watched every fight twice. So all 56 or whatever. You end up trying to emulate some moves, and off of that, what moves did you emulate from Sugar Ray Leonard that you kept, and ones that just didn't fit you, that you wanted to have, but it was just not happening?
So I remember, I boxed for Repton for quite a few years. That's where I won a few things for Repton. I had some good learning years there. And what's it called? I had a really good experience. But the sparring at Repton, when I was there, was hard. It was always hard. It was always really hard. I got really good rounds with people every time I was there. And what's it called? I used to watch Amber. I used to watch Ray Leonard every day. And one period of time, I used to watch Ray Leonard every day. And I used to wake up in the morning because I just wanted to watch him. We watched the fights again and again. I'd even make notes at points because I just thought he was so sick and exciting. But anyway, I used to watch Ray Leonard so much, that I thought that I could go. I used to watch Ray Leonard so much that I thought, because I thought, yeah, I can do that. You know what I mean? Because I've watched Ray do it, I could go in there with these guys at Repton and it will work for me. And oh my goodness gracious, the way I got beaten up so badly, man. Oh, there were days I got beaten up so bad at Repton, man.
Why did you keep going back?
Because I wanted to be something more. It wasn't always whooping, you know what I mean? Every now and then I gave a few good. There's pictures of champions all over the walls at Repton. Pictures of champions. Lawrence Okoli's there, even Ray Leonard's there. There's pictures of champions.
And Lawrence used to be here at this gym.
Yeah, he did. But he's all over the walls at Repton as well for a few, for things he won. He's actually there for the British universities as well, which I won as well. So he's on the wall there. But I remember every time I was training, I would look at these pictures of these people that was there, and that was massively motivating because I really wanted to be there. Being on the wall there, I used to see Lawrence, Ray Leonard, all of these great fighters that had done all this amazing stuff. So that was massively motivating. So that's why I kept going. And also just, again, the biggest thing is chasing that feeling. How I wanted to feel is more than anything, how I wanted to feel about myself, who I wanted to be. And knowing that I still wasn't feeling that way yet is definitely what kept me training, kept me making that trip, traveling up all the time, week after week. Because I used to travel from Bristol. Yeah. I used to travel from Bristol to London, to East London, to Repton to go and get my sparring. Because during lockdown, obviously I had to move back I was living in London for university. Then lockdown happened and I had to move out of halls. And I was living in Bristol again with my family. And then when it started, I didn't have anywhere to live in London, but I had built these relationships at Repton with coaches and stuff, and even made friends up here. And it was where I felt like was my home now to learn and continue with boxing. And so I kept traveling up twice a week, man. I was on the coach from Bristol to Bethnal Green, London, and that was sometimes like 4 hours, man. Wow. To get up here, like a 3-hour coach, take like an hour to get across London to get to Bethnal Green, do my sparring, get my ass whooped.
Yeah, bad. And then another 4 hours.
Yeah. Just get my ass whooped bad. And then another 4 hours back.
That goes like nicely into the next question, because it's a lot of commitment mentally and physically to become a fighter and to take it seriously to a top level. Yeah. Or what was the defining moment anyway that made you realize that this was a career that you wanted to become a boxer?
You know what? Winning, I won a competition called the Haringey Box Cup in 2019. I was 18 years old, and I won, and I boxed in that, and that was such a great competition. That competition is. Anthony Joshua won it, Nicola Adams won it. Loads of great fighters have competed in it. It's just whether you win or lose, it's just such a wicked competition to be a part of because there's so many great champions there, future champions, pros come along. I've seen Lawrence Okoli, comes along and sees, and obviously look at what he's achieved. But I won that when I was 18. And that was such an amazing moment for me because my family was there, my best friend was there. And that was the first time in my life I had ever won anything that had the word winner on it. That was the first time I'd ever won a single thing that said the word winner on it. I never won shit. I never won a single thing in my whole life, ever. Yeah. I've never actually. It's crazy actually, and I think about that. I've never brought home anything. All the trophies I had, like, was participation awards, something like that. But I'd never won anything back. It's like, you've won this.
This gave you validation that you are a champion.
That was such a massive thing. Coming home with a gold medal from that competition, and seeing how hard other boxers and other people had fought for that same thing, and I got to go home with that. That was massive for me. My mum, my sister, my dad, my best friend, everybody was so proud of me, and it just made me think. It made me think. Everything that I had been told and everything that I felt and been told growing up, I thought, nah, you're wrong. You're wrong. Like, teachers, like, all of my friends, like, you're just wrong, man. You're not right. And this is the first time that I can actually have something to myself and think, you're not actually right. Do you know what I mean? And that was massive for me, man. I still hold on to those moments, select moments like that. I still hold on to. So yeah, that's stuff like that.
So when you think of the strongest fighter that you've ever seen, what was it about them that made you think that guy's strong? What qualities stood out to you?
George Foreman. Watching back, George Foreman.
It's monstrous power.
What made me think that he was so powerful was, especially not just when his prime years, but his comeback when he came back older. The way he hit people, just like, it looked effortless. Like, the way he would just hit people, and it was just a life out, just left them.
It's like they're in an anime and there's like a shape in the hole. Like,
crazy. Yeah. It's like watching anime. Like, it's watching Baki. and George. I know they look at people like that and they make these characters after it, because, again, my favorite anime, One Punch Man. One Punch Man. Listen, I love One Punch Man. Listen, like. My day, the way I used to wish, the way I still wish I could have.
This is how Gabriel got so strong, by the way. He just did 100 push-ups every day and then 100 squats. Then he did, what was it, jumps?
It was the jumps, the run.
But then he ran a marathon every day, so he doesn't fucking run anywhere.
I didn't watch that for that. You know what? It's funny. What's it called? When I was back training, it was a couple of years ago. I was training. I was walking home with one of my training partners. We just got a good session in at Repton. We were walking back, and we were talking about One Punch Man. One Punch Man. We're walking to the station, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I actually," he said to me, I tried that workout." he said to me, "Yeah, actually, I tried that workout. I did it for like 2 weeks," and I was like, "Yeah."
My head's still there.
I said, "How was it?" And he was like, "How was it?" He was like, "Yeah. I was just really tired. I just got really tired." Like,
this is the most important question to you, bro. Saitama or Goku?
Saitama.
All right. Well, there you go.
Saitama is.
You heard it here first. Saitama can breathe in space. There you go.
Saitama's just an undefeated champion.
Do you know what? How has your perception of strength changed as you became a boxer? So this is like excluding like the crazy push-up workouts and running a marathon every day, and you're training so hard that your hair falls out. That's why we're both wearing hats, by the way. But no, as you became a boxer, what did you think strength was, and what did it end up being for you?
Growing up, even my first I don't know, maybe 10, 15 fights. I was not strong. I was not a strong guy because I was quite a late developer. So I was really, really skinny and small for the longest time. Even when I won my first competition, which was the Haringey when I was 18, I boxed at 60. I weighed like 63 kilos, and I was just I was boxing some guys who were strong, boxing some guys who were really strong. I remember I boxed Hassim Raymond, I think his name was, in the finals of that competition, and he's pro now. I think he's doing well, but even then, he was so strong, man. Like, for me, he was a strong guy. He was a man, really. I was like skinny, man. I remember even just when we were looking at each other when the referee was talking to us, I remember thinking, like, this guy, man, like, he's got like stubble and stuff. I barely had armpit hair. I barely had armpit hair.
Is that one hair that you protect?
Real, like, I'm not even joking. Like, deadly serious. Like, barely had armpit hair. And this guy had like chest hair coming out and stuff. And he was like proper man, And then my whole thing, I was running. Back then, how I used to box was different because I used to just run in and tap, tap, running, tap, tap. Because I could not stand there with these guys. As I've got older and got stronger, yeah, I've got strength now that I never used to have. But it's easy to get sucked into that, definitely. It's definitely easy to get sucked into that when you start feeling strong and start losing sight of other things. And there's always somebody stronger. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned anyway from my experience boxing. There's always somebody stronger and more powerful. So if you're going in there, no matter how strong you are, doesn't matter if you beat somebody up one fight and you feel bulletproof, there's always somebody stronger. So if you're relying on just strength and power, eventually, from my experience, you're going to come unstuck. You have to have the skills, you have to have the will, you have to have the discipline. The biggest thing is the discipline. That's real strength.
So a real strong fighter is one that doesn't rely on their punch power, but can find the keys that unlock every win.
I think it's just, I believe you can't just rely on one element of one plan, one element. You have to be a well-rounded fighter, and the biggest thing is discipline and consistency. Yeah. But even look, especially now, but even Artur Beterbiev, was 100% knockout ratio, super powerful. But he's an exceptional boxer. Yeah. He's not just a powerhouse puncher. He's an exceptional boxer. Had something like 295 amateur fights. So it's like it's easy to think, he's powerful. No, the guy is exceptionally gifted, well-rounded. So yeah, definitely not enough to just rely on one aspect of.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out their boxing journey and trying to become strong through the sport?
The biggest thing I would say is just keep going. It's consistency. Keep going. Don't give up. Just keep. That's the biggest thing. Keep going. Even if you don't. I know people always say believe in yourself, and that's massive. You have to believe in yourself. But I don't want to, because of my own experience, I don't like to say, even because I do coaching here, I coach here and I coach some of the youths, and some of them ask me, do you think I could ever do this and do that? I said, yes, absolutely. But the biggest thing is you keep coming every day, you keep doing what you can, you keep pushing, you keep, you stay away from those dream killers, negative people, especially when your school's hard, because you're surrounded by people who are telling you this, telling you that. You're telling you'll never be a champion. You'll never do this. You're wasting your time. But the biggest thing is, even if you don't believe in yourself right now and you think you're terrible, you think you're a piece of shit and you're weak and all of this stuff. Which for a long time went through my head. Don't wait to believe in yourself. Just start turning up to the gym. You can't wait for that. If I had waited till I had 100% belief in myself to turn up to the gym, to this day I would not be in the gym. Because there's still days where I think, as I said to you, I don't know what I'm doing.
Almost blindly climbing the mountain, and then you look down and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
I did that.
Literally. Facts, man. I think just do your best, let God do the rest. And just keep moving forward, keep turning up. Realize it is possible for you. Just keep pushing. Your strength will come. You'll see that.
As you look ahead to your career in boxing, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind, and what do you want people to remember you by when 10, 15 years down the line you retire and you leave boxing?
More than anything, more than achievements, more than anything, I want to be remembered as a good person. Definitely, that's the biggest thing, man. I don't want to lose myself, no matter how even if I achieve more than I ever could have hoped. But that's the biggest thing, definitely, is the positive impact I had on people. Sometimes I think when I'm here coaching like the youth boxers, or just the boxercise or foundation, whatever, sometimes I think like the positivity that I have on some of these people here, if I can have a positive impact on some people, is more important than winning anything. It doesn't matter what world titles, whatever. Because ultimately, I really believe me wanting to be a world champion, me wanting to be a great fighter, a great champion, and have a great legacy, that's for me, I've got no doubts about that. It's selfish. Boxing is selfish. Those are my goals that I want to accomplish for myself. I want to go as far as I can in boxing. I want to do really well, but that's for me. you know. My family doesn't need me to do that. They support me, they love me, but they don't need it. You know, when I'm here with the youth, when I'm here with people who, you know, we're doing the outreach and the charity stuff, those kids don't need me to be a champion. What they need me to be is positive, to be a positive role model, to try and just say positive things again and again. And all in all, that's what I hope to be. I hope to be someone that people look back on and think he was positive. He did something good.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I really, really hope.
Gabriel, that's beautiful, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.